Welcome everyone back to the weekly weather podcast, and in this week's podcast we're going to be having a look at the latest on the very wintry weather we're seeing over in the Mediterranean for the Greek islands, general parts of Greece and Turkey. Truly exceptional conditions in the Mediterranean, significant amount of snowfall, over a foot for many areas. So it's not just a few flakes, we are seeing truly a huge amount of snowfall, very dangerous conditions, and we'll have a look at why this is occurring. We'll have a look at some of the images, data from it, and of course we'll be seeing how this compares to the UK, why the Mediterranean is seeing more snow than the UK. Now, so far this winter in the UK, we've seen, of course, significant snowfall over Northern Hills and Scotland, but that's not too unusual, of course, for wintry months. But many areas have seen very little snowfall. Some northern areas, low-lying areas, have seen snow, but it hasn't been too widespread. Many southern areas have seen a few flakes, but many areas, including far south coast, southeast, southwestern areas, may not have even seen a single flake so far this winter, whereas areas like the Mediterranean, which we'd normally associate with sunbathing, hot weather, going out in the sea, having a holiday, is bathing in a couple feet of snow. Truly, truly exceptional conditions from this winter storm we've seen there. And it's going to stick around for at least a period of time and perhaps may continue. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe. And of course, remember to follow me on Twitter as well. The link's in the description. Also, do check out the channel membership because, of course, you get early access to the podcast on a Wednesday if you're signed up for channel membership. It's really cheap and it really does financially help me out and let me put a bit more time into the videos and the podcast, of course. Now, if we start over having a look at Twitter by having a look at some of the latest images from Greece and Turkey. Now you can see first video here is a video from Mykonos, which is sort of a party island, and we've got about a few inches of snow really. I can't say exactly how much snow they have, it's difficult to say from this image, because of course these buildings are actually very light in colour, they're white buildings, and the reason why they're white is because they need to reflect the sun, because it gets so hot in the summer. But yeah, it looks like they have a few inches of snow. You can see swimming pools here, hot tubs, covered in snow. Now, Mykonos does have some elevated areas, but this doesn't look like it's massively elevated. It's not the top of a mountain by any means. It is generally low-lying areas with warm Mediterranean seas around it. So it is truly exceptionally cold air mass that has brought this to Greece. Yeah, really, really exceptional. Now, if we do have a look at another image, this is from Athens in Greece. You can see real thick wet snow, dangerous conditions because wet snow sticks more to all the surfaces. You can see a good inch or two covering the power lines all over the trees. This is likely to bring trees down, power lines down, damage buildings. Really dangerous conditions. More dangerous than powdery snow, which does blow a lot more, perhaps creating more visual impacts and more hazardous driving conditions. But this thick wet snow will bring down more structures, trees and power lines, which makes it very treacherous for areas like Greece, which I don't suspect have great infrastructure for snow. Of course, they have seen snow before. This is not sort of a one in a lifetime event. Perhaps this amount of snow for some regions might be once in a lifetime event. But seeing snow in the southeast of Europe isn't too unusual. But it's just truly incredible how they're seeing feet of snow and the UK is seeing not even a few flakes and not even getting a sniff at it over the last few weeks. Now you can see here from the Met Office, have shown Storm Elpis has brought heavy snow, strong winds and heavy rain across parts of Greece and Turkey, causing widespread disruption. The rain and snow will start to spread eastwards to parts of northern Syria, Iraq, Iran and Armenia. So into desert areas. It's really, really, truly exceptional. Of course, there is rain with this. But if you have any moderate elevation and slightly away from the coast, you will be seeing snow from this storm. Now you can see here another video from Athens. Now Athens does have moderate elevation, around 192 metres. I just looked that up. 192 metres, which is moderate hills, I'd say, in the UK. It's not high enough for seeing massive amounts of snow in the UK. But it's, if you saw a marginal snow event in the UK, you'd definitely say 192 metres is high enough. For example, the highest area within the M25 in London is around 100 metres. So it is, of course, more elevated than London, but it is by no means up a mountain. You can see 35 centimetres of snow. Now, another video here is apparently a snow tornado in Greece. Now, I don't want to comment on this too much because I don't know how reliable this is, but I saw it and bookmarked it, and you can see a lot of snow around and something that appears to be a tornado. Again, don't want to say anything too much into it because, of course, verification is very difficult with these amateur videos, but very, very interesting volatile conditions out in Greece. And probably the most stunning images, you can see the crystal blue seas, and you can see about 6 inches of snow on the beach in Greece. And you can see parts of the sea does have a little bit of freezing over, but again, that will be very, very temporary, as the Mediterranean is around 10 degrees for sea surface temperatures this time of year. Some areas even warmer than that towards the southern side, so it is by no means freezing over, but perhaps a little bit of temporary icing over there right at the coast. But yeah, really exceptional seeing that right towards the sea level, literally sea level, seeing this. So it's not just elevated areas, and that's one thing we have to stress for this, because of course there are areas in Greece and Turkey that are hundreds and hundreds of meters in elevation, ski slopes in these areas, but this is falling to low-lying areas as well. Truly exceptional. Now, if we do have a look at some graphs from this, now I've gone into West Central, have a look at the latest snow depth, have a look at temperatures as well. Now, unfortunately, don't have a zoomed in image for both Greece and Turkey. So you can see Greece here on the centre of the screen, or you can just see Italy to the left. Snowfall over some higher ground. But of course, Greece, widespread snow right down its western flank, not seeing as much. But on its central and eastern side, with the winds coming in from the north, it is bringing, from the north and the northwest, it is meaning those temperatures are plummeting and you're seeing snowfall. Whereas areas right along the western coast, of course, getting more of a sea breeze in from the northwest. That's where the air is coming from. So picking up a little bit warmer conditions on the surface, so turning it back to rain. You can see down in Athens, you can see low-lying areas, predictions around 1 to 5 centimetres, Tuesday 25th January at 6 p.m. Higher elevation areas seeing 20 centimetres plus, and some of the Greek islands, of course, seeing some centimetres as well. This is not going to be the most accurate, of course, it is estimates, but again, just shows you how widespread this snow was. And you can see just up to the north, the Alps, with over a metre of snow in areas. Now, if we also have a look at Turkey, now Turkey has quite a lot of elevations, and you can see where those elevation spikes are, with areas seeing 50, 100 centimetres of snow. Now, not all of that, of course, has fallen in this latest snowstorm. Only a fraction of that will have fallen in this latest snowstorm. But you can see widely 10 to 20 centimetres, and even towards coastal areas, seeing between 1 to 10 centimetres of snow, and of course, elevated areas seeing many, many metres. Truly exceptional amount of snowfall in this region, because of course, just the south, we're getting towards Africa, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, these sort of hot desert-like countries where we don't see the temperatures normally drop below 30 degrees, or 25, 30 degrees. So it is really, really, truly exceptional how close this cold air is getting towards sort of the sort of desert-like areas. It just shows you how exceptional this cold plunge in from the north was and will continue to be. Now, if we also have a look a little bit zoomed out, this is the snow and ice for the northern hemisphere, or at least our side of the northern hemisphere. You can see all the red is sea ice or lake ice. Any of that is generally a body of water that's frozen, and you can see across parts of Europe you see a little bit of sea ice, but generally it's all confined to the North Pole. And then of course you've got the blues and the purples showing snowfall. You see widely across Greenland, Svalbard, northern Canada, all the way up through Scandinavia and many parts of Eastern Europe into Russia. Copious amounts of snow, and you can see on the index at the bottom, around anything around pink purple is around 50 centimetres plus of snow. And then you can see Greece and Turkey just towards the bottom. This chart not showing too much snow in parts of Greece, because of course maybe it is estimating it's melted a little bit. But you can see across parts of Turkey still massive amounts of snow, and of course elevated areas seeing those big peaks, but even to low-lying areas we're still seeing 5 to 10 centimeters of snow widely, and you can just see how far south this is. You can see how far south this is in the chart. I'll show you in a minute, where we have a sort of a cross section of the northern of the globe actually, and you can see how far south this is compared to the UK. But you can just see the UK really is in a snow lull, because of course if you draw a semicircle around here, which is areas on the similar latitude to the UK, you can see pretty much everywhere else has had snowfall or has significant snowfall at the moment. It just shows you how poor the British winters are, and how annoying that pesky Gulf Stream, and how the Gulf Stream keeps us quite a lot milder than our latitude really does deserve. We really do deserve to be in freezer-like conditions. We are on the same latitude as northern Canada, parts of Russia, parts of Eastern Europe, where regularly for a good few months temperatures are around freezing. We don't see that in the UK. We may see that maximum for a few days, if not a week, a year. We see things like the beast from the east. That would be a regular occurrence if we didn't have the Gulf Stream, which keeps us so much milder than we really should be. Now, if we do have a look at the global temperatures, now these are the 850 HPA temperatures, and you can see the UK is just in this yellow here. It's difficult to see because you've got the isobars on as well, but it does give you a general good overview of all the temperatures across the globe, and of course this is longitude and latitude corrected, whereas the previous chart showing Europe isn't. So these things are in proportion in terms of height up the globe. So you can see where the UK is. If you head anywhere east or west, it is bitterly cold. You head west towards southern parts of Canada, central Canada, you can see the minus 30 line at 850 HPA is on our latitude. We've never seen that towards the UK. We get rarely down to minus 15, perhaps close to minus 20, with, for example, the beast from the east. But we don't go much colder than that. Whereas the minus 30 line is plunging into northern and southern Canada, and potentially into parts of the United States. And you can see areas like New York, Boston, Washington DC, where we see big nor'easters, we've seen snow recently. Those areas are many, many hundreds of miles further southwards than the UK, 1,000 miles south of the UK. And you can see this blue blob here. That is just to our east and our southeast. That is Turkey and Greece, with a minus 10 line at 850 HPA. Sinking southwards, and by no means is it the coldest area for this latitude. You can see how close it is to Africa, with plus 25 degrees at 850 HPA, which is of course giving temperatures in excess of 40 degrees. But whereas you go just a bit further northwards, and we're in temperatures negative. And if you spread eastwards, you can see towards the same latitude as the UK, another pocket of area completely under the minus 10 line, with Eastern Europe, all the way Russia, all the way around to the other side of the pole, back towards Alaska and the Pacific. So you see the UK pretty much is the mildest area on our latitude. Of course, you see some of that impact towards Alaska and parts of Alaska and Western Canada. But by no means is it anywhere near as bad as the UK gets it, with our prevailing southwesterly wind coming up from the central Atlantic, all the way down from the Caribbean sometimes. And you can just see, we truly do get really destroyed by the Gulf Stream. But yeah, you can see how this, in terms of latitude, truly is not that exceptional for colder conditions, with that air mass getting all the way to the south. But if I show you another graph which shows you a lot better, you can see these are the 2 meter temperatures. So what we're seeing at the surface in terms of temperatures, and you can see again on the UK's latitude, if you go east or west, apart from of course areas over the ocean, that's all around or below freezing. The UK is anomalous at plus digits. Of course, if you go to Germany, maybe parts of Eastern Europe, maybe above freezing at the moment. But as soon as you go to Russia, all the way across through to China, then all the way through again round to Alaska, Canada, United States of America, all around freezing or below freezing on the UK latitude. And then, of course, you can see the blues down into parts of Canada and Greece. And, of course, you only have to head a little bit further southwards and eastwards. You get to Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, a bit further southwards. You head into northern Africa, which is seeing temperatures in around 30 or 40 degrees. Really, really hot. And that is why we saw the very, very heavy snowfall, because you've got all this warm air on this southern edge, all this cold air on the northern edge, and it spawns these massive winter storms. And of course, you see something similar on the northeast coast of America with nor'easters, with real warm air coming up from the Caribbean, colliding with this bitterly cold air across Canada, and you see these storms spin up. Now, we will probably likely see these continuing, and the reason why we've seen this colder pattern towards Turkey, Greece, and generally Eastern and Southeastern Europe is because of the high pressure. Now, if we go back to the previous chart, you can see the high pressure over the top of the UK, amplification in the jet stream, because remember, wherever high pressure heads northwards, low pressure must head southwards at some point around the globe, and that's why we look for northern blocking, because if that high pressure goes into the Arctic, it's going to push cold, low pressure out of the Arctic, and that's why we look at blocking for bringing colder weather to the UK, is it's likely to shift colder air to the mid-latitudes and gives us quite a high chance of getting colder weather towards the UK. Now, something similar is happening here, but the block, of course, is over the top of the UK. Now, it's not sending an absolute Arctic blast, sort of like minus 20, minus 30 degrees at 850 HPA southwards, which it could do if that block was further northwards. Beast from the east-like pattern could be heading towards Europe. But we're not seeing that, of course, because the high pressure is centred more of the UK. So it has moderate amplification, not massive amplification going right into the Arctic, but moderate amplification. And you can see across parts of Scandinavia, all the way through Eastern Europe, it is cold. So as soon as you see a bit of a northerly wind develop there with this high pressure, low pressure interact with that, you plunge colder air down south, all the way down to Greece and Turkey. So the UK being stuck under mundane high pressure, with the high just sitting over the top of us, has caused this colder weather towards southeast Europe. As I said, this milder air heading northwards is going to plunge colder air southwards, but it's where that cold air goes, and it's going towards Turkey and Greece and the general Mediterranean area. Now, one hopes that we do see this high pressure move towards Greenland, out towards Iceland, and gives us more of an easterly or northerly flow. But it's just seeming like it's impossible so far this winter. Of course, if you do check out my daily videos in the evening, we are looking at the potential for maybe some blocking as we head into February, maybe a Scandinavian high potentially. So you can see where this low pressure, this cold air is up here, Scandinavian high developing there, and then we start to pull in these blues from Russia. But of course, if we continue with a westerly pattern, you can see bitterly cold air just across northern Canada, but the long sea track has to take means it always gets very modified, very, very modified, where even at the upper air temperatures it might be minus 5 to minus 10, but towards the surface we're seeing a lot more moisture, raising the dew points and turning things milder towards the surface, with maybe some winters over elevated areas, because of course we need a continental flow really to be getting bitterly cold air, either in from the north with a very short sea track, in from Iceland to Greenland, or in from the northeast or east, where air is originating from either the pole or from Russia. But you can see the truly exceptionally cold conditions down into the Mediterranean. It's not unusual to see these cold polar plunges, but we just don't see them in the UK for the last couple of years. Of course, we have seen colder weather, but we haven't seen anything truly exceptional like this, probably since the beast from the east. Of course, we saw colder air last year with a bit of a scanty high, but that was cold for about a week. Didn't deliver massive snowfall, and it ended very abruptly, not with a snowy breakdown either. So that did happen, give us very cold conditions, but we haven't had decent snowfall, as I said, since the beast from the east, and it's just the Gulf Stream that is really shafting any cold lovers out there. It is unfortunate. If we were positioned anywhere else on the globe with our latitude, we would be regularly in the freezer. But others would argue that they enjoy the milder weather, they enjoy it not being freezing cold every single day from December until March. So the Gulf Stream is, in that terms, the saviour that's making sure that even when we do see snow, it only lasts a few days or maybe a week maximum when we get really cold synoptic patterns, and it does mean any air coming in from the west all the way round to the south is very, very mild, whereas other areas like in America or Russia or even parts of Europe, a westerly wind can be cold, can be very cold indeed. So some would argue we're lucky in the UK, some would argue we are very unlucky. But you can see that cold air is never too far away. It's down in southeast Europe at the moment and has been caused by the milder air heading toward the UK. Could we see a reversal of this come February? We'll have to see. But at this stage, pretty much everywhere else across the globe at our latitude is getting bitterly cold air. Areas like Turkey and Greece further southwards than us are even seeing this colder air. Will we see it? That all depends on what happens in February. So anyway, thanks for watching and thanks for listening to this podcast. Very interesting seeing what's happening in Greece and Turkey at the moment. It's not a common event, but by no means is it a massively rare event. So I don't want to say that this is a once in a lifetime event. We will see snow again, most likely at some other point this winter. As we still have high pressure at the top of the UK, at least for the next week, or in around the UK for the next week. So we will still be seeing cold air plunging southwards at times towards Turkey and Greece in the Mediterranean area. So I do suspect we will see some more snow this year and probably next year and for years to come. But it just is truly exceptional how they're seeing many feet of snow, whereas the UK is seeing nothing. But hopefully there is something on the horizon. But of course, we'll have to keep an eye out for that. So anyway, thanks for watching and thanks for listening, and I'll see you again for another podcast next week.